All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. TGIF or TGOF, as we remember we talked about last week. Trading's great on Friday. We'll see if that today lives up to that moniker. I'm doing good. Feeling good. Yesterday was a good day of trading. Some better opportunities than we've seen all week, I think, and at least in my opinion. So, how was your day?
Good, man. It was great. Didn't do much trading, spending more with the kids. Had a couple of one-on-ones with Peak Capital, which is fun to see how people are doing and just kind of get to know different traders. So, other than that, man, good day. Can't complain.
Okay, good. Dre, we're going to get a special guest again today?
I don't know if she's making her way down here. That's not usually an occurrence, but we'll see if we get our special analyst to come in. Friends, before we get to our market, our gappers list, market is running here. We got some numbers we want to jump into. Peter, let's go to you with the latest and greatest on that.
Indeed, we do have a couple of economic events here on the calendar, starting with the non-farm payrolls that just came out significantly over forecast, 147. The number went between 140 and 150,000 jobs, depending on which number you looked at. But it just came out at 254,000, significantly over the forecast, and we can see the market did an immediate reaction to that. Unemployment rate is expected to come out at 4.2%, came out at 4.1, so that was pretty much right on target. And then the average hourly earnings. Anybody making an hourly wage out there? Did you get a 0.4% increase last month? Because on average across the U.S., apparently that's what the increase was. So against a 0.3% estimate. So you can see that the unemployment and hourly wages are pretty much on target. The big surprise is on the non-farm payroll. So we'll see if this continues to spur the market this morning. It's slowing down a little bit already. We'll see what happens here. But anyways, so there you go. Later today, the only other things we have are a couple of Fed speakers, Williams and Austin, are speaking. So the TV appearance by Austin might be the most interesting, only because on TV appearances, of course, you can get questions that may be unexpected, and depending on how they're answered, we can see some market reaction. But as we well know, right, neither one are Powell, and Powell is really the one that moves the needle most of the time. So I expect it to be relatively quiet, but we'll all find out together as the market opens and we get to those times. After that, quiet afternoon. It's a Friday. Summer's over. We are in the fall session here in October, but I still expect it to be a quiet Friday afternoon. So we'll again find out together as we go through this market. In the meantime, we have no earnings on the calendar, really nothing to note, nothing after the close yesterday, really nothing this morning. So we're just going to have to depend on this gappers list, which Carlos is going to help us with right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at this gappers list today. A couple of things in the green this morning, not a whole lot in the red. We have Sim and Rivian both with some interesting headlines we'll get to in a second here. But if we look at our gappers list towards the top side, I mean, it is again dominated by a lot of the Chinese tickers, again just crushing it. I mean, Baba up 3%, JD up 4%, Baidu 3.1%, PDD 2.6%. I mean, they just continue to grind higher here. The hype is not over. These stocks are really reaping the benefits of the stimulus packages over in China, and that's what you're seeing there. So there are some other ones that are not Chinese related. You can see them on here. We'll hop into those to see what kind of news they have. But for the most part, again, Chinese gap up list this morning. All right, let's take a look at the first one, ACMR. What do we have here? This is ACM Research. Doesn't look great. Very light volume for the most part. And yeah, on the daily, you barely get any movement on this one. So I'm not interested in it at all. Peter, any reason why we should maybe consider this today?
Well, sorry, I was looking up news on China. I needed to confirm China's markets are
Yeah.
still closed today. They're closed right through the weekend. So, yeah, surprising move there. ACMR though you're asking about, and not seeing anything. I don't know why they're moving.
Yeah, I don't like them, so we'll skip on that.
Mm,
Looking at
no.
SMMT Summit Therapeutics. Again, this was in play beginning of beginning of September. You can see here the nice pop we got throughout a couple of days. It did drop down since then, but again, I'm not sure how well this thing has been trading. I have not been watching it. I'm usually not a big fan of these therapeutics type companies. Just the price action is not what I look for in a stock, especially for that 5 minute ORB. Peter, business as usual, or is there anything that maybe we should consider?
Summit Therapeutics. They've been on our list on and off for the last little while, which is interesting. I mean, they do have a phase 3 trial that they were talking about very early this morning. Oh, sorry, phase 3. What did I say? 2, 3. It doesn't matter. A late stage trial for a treatment, of course, with something that is completely just foreign to me. It's non-small cell lung cancer, so I guess that would mean large cell lung cancer. Anyways, NSCLC apparently, as it's known about by those people who know. But they've got a trial for a drug that is doing very well in late stage and is pushing this stock. It's in fact some of the this is one article. The headline is, "Could Summit Therapeutics become the next Merck?" Wow, that's a big statement, because Merck is probably like one of the top 5, I guess, pharmaceutical companies in the world. So that feels a little bit of a stretch, but do what you have to get the headlines, right? If you're writing an article.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like these guys, so I'm gonna keep them off my list, and not them personally, but just the way the stock trades. It's not one I look for. All right, taking a look here at everything else. Again, pretty much China taking over the list here. I'm keeping with the stocks I've been watching closely, Baba and PDD. So I'm gonna have those on my list again. I'll add Baba to the main list, and I'll have PDD on my secondary. I've been watching them close. I didn't get to trade them yesterday, so I don't even know how they did. Let's take a look here. Baba, not so bad. Again, a little bit not as clean. PDD, on the other hand, much, much cleaner. Very nice pop here, at least for a 5 minute RB. If you're watching this one, you did very well. Had a couple opportunities there. And then throughout the day, it just did nothing, right? So not a whole lot of movement later in parts of the day. But pick your favorite. I know you guys been watching a few of these. They are in play. Again, they continue to just head higher. I mean, just look at this daily on PDD, right? At 95, hanging out here, now at 156. I mean, we're almost doubling here on price. So just insane. Tesla is making our list today. So Tesla, it is gapping up here today. They are up 2.2, 1.8 million shares traded. Did we get any? Is this from the Josh report that we're getting this reaction, or is this it's got to be from the Josh report, because you can see the SPY's moving higher and Tesla is reacting to that. So Tesla
Wait, the
definitely in
what?
play. I'm going to be
The
adding that.
Josh report?
Not the Josh. The what's the job report? What's the job report?
Oh, the
Right?
jobs report. Oh,
The
sorry.
Josh report. Yeah, yeah, the Josh
No,
report. Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah. I'm
Tesla
not
has
sure who
some news
Josh
on
is.
its own. I mean, there does seem to be interest in the fact that the Cybertruck is selling better than anticipated, which surprises me too. I mean, I don't know anybody who's bought one, but Carlos, you said you're seeing them on the streets. I have to admit,
They're
I've
all
only
over,
seen
man.
one. Really,
Really, I see
maybe
them every day. If I step out to
really.
drive, I'm seeing one or two easily in my town,
Wow.
all over. If you live in Jersey, all over Route 4, all over 95. I mean, they're everywhere. They're
Huh.
everywhere. I'm not talking about the ones just
Crazy.
sitting at the dealership right by Route 4. They're all over the place. I saw a yellow one yesterday, which actually every color, Peter, but the fridge one, the one that looks like the regular color, that looks horrible. That looks like a fridge on wheels. But every other color, the matte black, the yellow, the crazy custom paint they're wrap they're doing on it looks amazing. Looks really good.
Really. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess they're not as popular in Canada, at least not here yet. So we'll see what happens. But I see a lot of people in the chat room saying they're seeing them all over Austin. They're big in South Florida. So okay, hey, they're selling. Anyways, the sales numbers show it because it's what supported their recent quarterly sales release. And there's a lot of anticipation that I think is also just building in the stock. Tesla's one of those unique stocks that, because there's so many fans of the company, that they will, sort of bet on it or trade it just on anticipation, on excitement of what's to come. The robo-taxi thing, normally that would be an area of concern, and you'd see a quiet period going into that because everybody's thinking that it's going to be sort of a pivotal moment on the stock, or at least there's a lot of conversation around that. But I said Tesla can actually trade well into that, even if there's concern about what it's going to say or whether it'll be a letdown or not, just because there's so many people that get excited, right? They're like, I better get in now because you'll never see this stock price again. It'll be $1,000 before you know it. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm not that bullish on it. I mean, I do think Tesla's they're still in the pole position, I think, internationally, especially with some of the news of the other car companies, right? Nissan's had some trouble. It's not a stock we trade, but it's interesting how they've really sort of faltered on the on the scene and are losing market share in most markets. Stellantis, which owns like 1 trillion brands, has not been doing well and really had some strong headwinds onto their business in the last couple of quarters. We know that Ford has struggled. So, it just seems like for their core market, Tesla's doing really quite well. Where they're not making a lot of advances is in the Chinese market, just because there's so many Chinese EV players that are favored by the Chinese government. It's gotten increasingly difficult for them to compete there. That being said, they've actually held their relative position fairly well, right? Considering how much competition there is, you got to give them some credit for having sort of not lost all market share in that space. So yeah, I mean, Tesla's just in play. If we just want to look at it as a stock, it's just generally in play. I mean, another great trading day yesterday. Probably not a great day if you were a shareholder yesterday, because it lost a lot of ground. I mean, another what, like 12 $12 move day, right? And if I was trying to trade this short, and Carlos, anyways, this is my biggest regret of yesterday. I traded it short a couple times, but the timing wasn't right. I was trying too early, and I just didn't keep trying. The signals were still there,
Yeah.
but instead I allowed myself to get into a trading exhaustion, and I gave up before the big move. So credit to Paris, who shared his trades with us, was trading it live, added in all the right spots, had an awesome trade all the way down as Tesla said that $12 move. So yeah, Raph is
That's
saying
the thing
Paris
about
got
Tesla,
lucky
man.
again.
It can. I don't think it's luck.
If
I think he kind of knows what he's doing.
you ever watch
Or,
Paris's trade, yeah, Carlos, I was about
yeah.
to say the same thing. If you watch Paris's trade on any single day, you're going to think, gosh, dang it, that guy is lucky. But the fact that he's lucky like every day, clearly it's
Yeah.
not luck,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't be lucky that frequently. He knows
No.
what he's
No.
doing, and he does it very well.
Yeah, an amazing trader. Yeah, Tesla here on the moves, guys. Again, just yesterday, whether you like it or not, that's just $12 move. I didn't think about it until you mentioned it, Peter. But you're right, it's a $12 move. So even on a day where the day didn't look so good on the daily, intraday, you could tell it was very, very nice. So I'll have them on my list again today. 2.1 million shares traded, up 2.1, looking really nice. Heading back to our list, I see some other stocks coming up here. Amazon is joining the gap up list, right? So look at them moving here. And I expect this gap up to start getting a little bigger if the SPY continues to hold these gains here. So you're going to start seeing some of our usual suspects make their way in here, like Apple. Take a look at Apple. They're moving. I'm sure Meta moving nice as well. Meta is just crushing their all-time highs here. So they, again, just pushing higher. And I think this puts, heard today, Mark Zuckerberg's number 2 now, passing Jeff Bezos as the richest person in the world right now. So he's doing well there. And yeah, so again, MU, this list is going to get bigger and bigger. Peter, before we go to the gap down list. Anything you like on here on the gap upside?
I mean, Amazon. I'm not sure if the news on Amazon is really enough to move it, but I did like. It does look good pre-market here. It's getting a little bit of a move. Interesting article suggesting that Amazon could save $20 billion a year in costs if they were able to go to autonomous vehicles for their delivery services. So, that's a lot of incentive to develop autonomous vehicles, being that you could just apply it to your own business and save 20 billion, right? You don't even, I mean, that's more than most companies would expect to make selling them to other people. Just developing the technology and adopting it yourself, that's pretty significant. Again, making it work though, there's a significant amount of challenges, because not only do you have to develop the technology, you have to figure out how to directly employ it. I can't quite figure out exactly how that would work, because there's more to delivery than getting from the warehouse to the house. You actually have to take the physical package out of the vehicle and put it on the doorstep. Again, I don't know. There's got to be some other step. You need a robot sitting there just to move the packages, or a drone, or I don't know, a giant arm. I don't know how it works. Anyways, but there's logistics to catapult.
Slingshot.
There you go.
Put a slingshot on it. Yeah, just kind of boom. There you go. That should do it.
Yeah, well, it's Sarif, yeah, the robot vehicle deploys a robot delivery capsule. I mean, exactly. It's sort of like, the robot deploying a robot with a robot to do a robot thing. Anyways, hey, look, we're getting there, man. It's the world is coming. I still think that Tesla, for some of their products, they really should just be driving around with an autonomous vehicle with a giant 3D printer in there, and then they could just manufacture like half the stuff on the way to the delivery location. Anyways, but I think Amazon's going up. I did have well, oddly, I had 3 Amazon deliveries myself this week, and I picked up 4 for a friend who's on vacation. So I think that's probably my neighborhood that is helping with Amazon's price. So there you go. You're welcome, Amazon.
There it is. Amazon and many of our Magnificent Seven guys looking good here this morning. As you can see, heading higher right now. It's just kind of following the overall spy. Apple doing good, up almost 1%. Volume light though, so we'll see if that can increase. All right, let's focus on what's gapping down today. We have only 2, and these 2 are creating some noise this morning. We'll start with ZIM. So this is the shipping company. Obviously, shipping the port docks issue continues. Well, now they kind of held the strike, right? They held the strike until January 15. Looks like they're going to be doing some deals then. So at least that's some pause for now. Less stuff for people to worry about. So again, don't go crazy going to the store getting toilet paper. Peter, by the way, I went yesterday to pick up some meat, and I passed by I didn't need toilet paper or paper towels, but I passed by there anyway. And they have a sign. Take a picture of it. They have a sign, and I read to exactly what it says on here. I should have sent it to Brent, but there's a sign right on there, which they did it pretty quick, laminated and everything. Dear valued customer, every paper towel, such as bath tissues and paper towels, are not impacted by ongoing port strike, and we expect to receive regular deliveries. Take what you need only. So
Really?
it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's wild.
What is
It's
it
wild,
with
man.
like toilet
I don't
paper? I
know.
get paper towels. Like, I don't think I've ever had
I
a
don't even
paper
get
towel
toilet paper.
emergency in my life.
I don't even understand toilet paper, Peter. I mean, if we go into a World War III and we have to run, and I mean, is that the one thing we're all going to go crazy for? Toilet paper? I mean, it's
I
just
mean,
doesn't make sense to me.
it, it's a convenience, I suppose, but yeah, I mean, I think
Hmm.
there'd be more urgent things that I'd want to have, like potable water and
Absolutely.
food.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
The last thing I'll be
I
worried about is
I
how to
guess no.
properly clean my booty. But yeah, I don't understand. All right. Let's jump in here, guys. So that's ZIM again moving. I don't like the way this trades, but today, just like yesterday, could be in play. We got tons of volume. If you look at it yesterday, had a beautiful sell-off here. So again, even though with the sell-off, the volume is still extremely light. So you just got to be careful. And the way you trade this, it's just very different than you would trade like an NVIDIA and AMD and some other stocks that are going to get higher volume. Like you can look at the volume here yesterday, only 8 million. That's around what they usually trade every day. But today it could be in play. I'm going to add it on my secondary list. and we'll see where that goes. So you're down 11.4 this morning. Next, speaking of EVs, Peter, Rivian taking a nice smack here this morning, down 6.6, 4.9 million shares traded. So what's the latest and greatest with these guys?
I'm sorry. I was just reading a comment in our chat room from Zen, and I'm disgusted now. But, anyways, Rivian, yeah, Rivian had some struggles, some problems, bad news for them. Basically, they've cut their guidance, both financially and in terms of their production numbers. So that's never good, right? Nobody likes it when you reduce your forecast, and especially if you're an auto manufacturer. Your forecast is tied directly to how many cars you're producing and delivering, and for them to lower that annual production forecast is not good. Now, it's not necessarily for sales. They are claiming it's because they've got a parts shortage, which I find a little bit interesting because I haven't heard about a parts shortage for any other auto manufacturer. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying I don't know, and it seems odd that they are the only ones affected by a part shortage. Now, the ports could be what's affecting the parts. Right. So, and Rivian being a smaller manufacturer that I assume has fewer sites might be more directly impacted because they wouldn't have as many distribution or, delivery channels. So could very well be that they're completely relying on, one ship of stuff that if they don't get takes down their entire, sort of factory. So it does make sense to a certain degree, but yeah, Rivian's down because of that, and probably will be in play, although I expect the price movement from this point to be fairly modest. Like it's $10 stock right now. You could see the movement, right? Like a relatively big move going from 10.75 at the close yesterday to $10 here. What are you going to expect? I mean, maybe to $9, probably more like to $9.40, $9.50. It's not going to move that much. Just set your expectations appropriately. I could be wrong, but that's my expectation.
Yep. There is Rivian in play, friends. I will add this to my list. How else going to move? We don't know. I'm going to put in a secondary and see how it gets affected. I love the volume on it. We're down 7.3. Maybe an overreaction. Who knows? Who knows? We're going to see how bad the market thinks this actually is. I mean, you're not selling that many vehicles. To have parts problem now, that is not a good look. All right. So that covers our gap up and gap down. Peter, over to you on if you like anything on that's gapping down that might not be on this list today.
Well, you already mentioned the Magnificent Seven. I think we just have to keep a watch on the big boys. It seems like a day for that today with so much green. Like my screen is pretty much all green with the exception of Rivian, who we just talked about, and a couple of odd ones like Walmart, which is oddly red this morning. But yeah, Tesla, Amazon, Apple even might be worth keeping an eye on. Apple's actually doing quite well pre-market and had a very strong close yesterday. So no particular news behind that, but just that combination of the strong close yesterday and a good pre-market move makes me think that Apple might choose to be in play this morning. And of course, we got to keep an eye, as always, on the semiconductors. Nvidia's going with good volume here. Look, nice move this morning. With over 8 million shares traded, and it's up over $125 again. I think Nvidia is absolutely on my list, as is, of course, AMD, because I always watch it. The one I started talking about at the beginning of the week, but got bored with was SMCI. I still am watching it in case it decides to do a thing like NVIDIA. Remember NVIDIA after the big split again? Wasn't fun to trade for the first few days. Then it picked up, and look, we've never looked back, right? I mean, now we've been watching NVIDIA for months, and it's been great. SMCI is actually looking good this morning. Again, this could just be a move with the market, but finally, it's sort of moving. It's up above the pre-split price, handily now, whereas before it was sort of hanging around that split price. So let's see what happens. Like yesterday, it looked like it was really going to take off, and then it lost it all and dropped right back down again. So that gives me some hope that SMCI might become a fun stock to trade. I've got my fingers and toes crossed. We'll see.
Yep, yeah, we'll definitely see. Baba, Tesla, Apple right now on my list is what I have so far, and then secondary list I have a ZIM, PDD, and Rivian. Again, all of them looking really good. Only thing red is Rivian and ZIM. Everything else, like you said, Peter, in the green. And if you look at our gappers list now, it's just going to continue to grow, right? It was only about 8 tickers when I woke up this morning, maybe 7. Now we just doubled that. As the SPY continues to go higher, you start seeing all the usual suspect: AMD, Amazon, MU. What is this STLA? Somebody spelled Tesla wrong. What is this? This is Stellantis. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Okay. Oh, we forgot to talk
Stellantis. This
about
is the
coin.
big.
Hmm.
I mentioned I'm actually surprised to see them moving up. This is Stellantis, the big auto conglomerate. You know, the one that bought all the brands. They're out of the Netherlands
Yes.
initially, but they have all sorts of different brands now. I think they own Jeep and Chrysler and I don't know, a whole bunch of other stuff. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, they've been having a rough time of it recently. So yeah, I think they're just popping with the market.
Yeah, I see that. We forgot to talk about coin and Bitcoin overall. So I see coin is up here at 3%. I saw Clean Spark earlier on the list. Yeah, it is Clean Spark as well. So again, Bitcoin must be doing some stuff. I don't see any other Bitcoin tickers, just this two. I don't see Mara for the most part. But again, they haven't been and they haven't been really been great, you know. So a lot of other stuff is trading much better. So I kind of been keeping them on the sidelines off my list for the most part. Maybe today something can get going. Coin and Clean Spark are the best ones. So maybe I'll add Coin on my secondary. I might move this up if I have some space as we get closer to that 9:30 market open. All right, let's see what you guys like this morning. Let's start with our chat here. So I'm just gonna pull this. Let's see. There it is, our chat. Um, Ash Gar is asking for PLTR. So let's take a look. PLTR this morning. Yeah, moving with the overall market, right? We got the announcement at 8:30. So you see that pop there, a little bit of volume. 1.6 million shares traded. I think it's just moving with the overall market. They had a great day yesterday, though. So yesterday, look how clean this traded. Here's the thing with PLTR. It's such a hit or miss. So I didn't watch it yesterday, and look how this thing traded so beautifully. But when I do watch it, it just trades horrible. But not a bad breakout yesterday on PLTR, breaking above the daily here, and today possibly that can continue. So you just won't know into the market open. Worth watching today, though. As much as I love not to put this on here, it looks good. I'll put POTR here on my main list, up 1.7, and we'll see where that goes. All right, so that's POTR. Nvidia, of course, we're gonna have way too many today. Nvidia looks good. Again, following the overall market. I have Apple for that. I have Tesla as well on that situation. I have Baba here, which again, Baba's not actually following the overall market, right? They gapped up already overnight as usual. It seems like almost every day here for the last 2 weeks they're gapping up overnight, and today's no different. So up 3%, but not really reacting to the news there by any means. So yeah, so as far as what we're looking at Nvidia, and think Nvidia is worth putting on here. 10 million shares traded already, up 1.7. Again, as you mentioned, Peter, I think our usual suspects are going to be the ones to look at today. All right, let's take some over from YouTube. Oh, wait, Intel? Intel's being mentioned by quite a few of you guys. Take a look at Intel. INTC.
There's
Oh, look at that. Nice. Yeah.
one of our members
What's up?
mentioned DKNG, so I was looking up DKNG and ended up down a rabbit hole here for a couple of minutes on the Falcons Buccaneers game last night, where there's a lot of anger out there over what looks like an absolutely missed call on a face mask hold on Irving that ended the game in the Falcons' favor. So, yeah, there's no question that he got a hand on that face mask and pulled him down with it, and apparently it wasn't called. So, but people are angry, very angry.
They should be,
Anyways,
man. It's
but DKNG,
it should be.
they've got a couple of interesting news. Apparently, they've suspended their UK operations. There's a betting scandal going on with FanDuel and the Jaguars, NFL Jaguars. I guess they heard some like $22 million betting scam over there. So, or I think couldn't quite figure out exactly what was happening. But anyway, it's probably never good when it involves administrative staff on an NFL team. And yeah, I don't know. DKNG is not doing much today, considering you'd think it'd be doing a little more. Volume is very low. Price action is fairly light. So it used to be. It was fun. We traded that at one point, but yeah, I don't know. Bidding
Yeah.
scandal. Heavens
So,
no.
a scandal
There's
on
a
sports betting. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
sports betting is
Oh
such
no.
a. There was a great. I think it was a Family Guy clip I just happened to see last night. That it was like he's he walks up with money to the desk and he says, "I'd like to make a bet," and here's my $200. And the guy's like, "Do you want to pick a team?" "No, just take the $200." And he walks away. And it's like
There you go.
it's
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
how sports betting goes most of the time. Like it's like I think it's a brilliant business model. It's terrible if you're a bettor, right? Because they allow you. They've got all these parlays where you can make up your. So here's you want to rant. They make up all these parlays where you can bet on anything, right? And of course they'll let you bet on anything, which sounds innovative and like I can create my own bet. So I'm going to create a sure thing for myself. But the way they do it, you have to do like a couple of things in combination. The chances of these things happening, I think on average are like it's worse than winning the Powerball, right? Like it's just one of these things where yeah, they'll let you make up your own bet because the chances of it actually occurring and you being able to collect on that are infinitesimal. So make up whatever bet you want. You want to bet that there's going to be 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Sure, go for it. We're happy to do it. Like it's a brilliant model if you are hooked on betting. But I guess I don't get it. I'm not a sports bettor like that. Like I just don't like the odds in it. So this is why I trade. The odds are I can make my own odds. I can manage this, right? I actually like poker. I can play against other players. I can manage my risk. What I will not do is I don't play craps. I don't play roulette. I don't play any of those other things because, I mean, if I do, I know it's for fun, which literally is let me give you my $200. I'm just here to have fun. That's what I'm willing to, spend to have fun because I have zero expectation I'm going to come out with any money. So I just,
Yeah.
uh,
Did you see?
you got
I
to
sent
approach
this in chat
activities that
in
way.
our BBT stuff. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's what Interactive Brokers is doing now. The email I got about
Oh,
betting on forecasting. What are we doing
I
here?
saw
So
that.
for those that
The
did not use Interactive Brokers,
on
yeah,
politics.
on
Yeah.
politics. So for those that do not use
Yeah.
Interactive Brokers, here's the letter I got. It basically an email from Interactive Brokers saying that you can start betting
Yeah.
on who will possibly win, Harris or Democrat or Donald Trump, and then what the House majority will be. I mean, you can actually take a contract on this. I don't know, man. That is wild. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Peter?
I
Where are we
mean,
going here?
uh, you know what? I mean, I guess if people are willing to buy it, I like how they've got a whole tool name, the IBKR Forecast Trader, which yeah, it is blurring the line between a betting service and a legitimate trading service, right? I mean, I guess my only concern is,
Yeah,
you go for it. I am not participating in that as long as it does not affect their business license or the quality of the service I get as a broker, because they are my
yeah,
broker. So,
yeah.
you keep that part of
They
the
are very
business
good.
walled off and isolated. If your other brilliant minds over there in marketing, think this is a good idea and you're going to go make some money, fine, but just don't affect your core business because otherwise I got to go find myself a new broker. Yeah, it seems wild to me, Carlos.
Yeah,
Like it definitely is
it's
blurring the lines
never would have thought.
between. But you know what? I mean, maybe this is just us being old farts. Because, like, if you think back when they started introducing futures contracts, I mean, I got to believe people had the same reaction. Futures, you're betting on what the price might be in the future instead of just buying the thing, right? Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
options contracts on the future contracts, like, like you can't say we're not doing that type of weird stuff already, right? So,
yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right, man. I would expect this from DraftKings, not not our
yeah.
area. But hey, interesting, interesting. All right,
Interesting
friends.
indeed.
So far this morning, let's take a look at the SPY overall. We are holding our gains here after the announcement. So 8:30 numbers came out. You can see the SPY is doing well, and many stocks in heavily in the green so far still. So right now, I have Baba, I have Tesla, I have Apple doing very good actually. Apple, PLTR, and Nvidia as well.
we
Yep.
got a
Yeah.
we got a whole conversation going on this. Look, guys, if you ever played poker, there's an old axiom in poker, right? If you look around the table and you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
in sports betting, when it's just you betting against the house or the betting company, do you think they're the sucker? So
No
just,
way, Jose.
yeah, just keep that in mind. Do it for fun,
Yep.
but make sure you know it's fun. Otherwise, you're in trouble, sucker.
I have a great track record, by the way, Peter, on horse racing. I went there
Mm,
once, bet on number 4 just because I like the color green. And I didn't even know about
yeah.
anything about odds at that time. I was like 22. And I went with a friend. He was really into it. He's like, "You sure you want the house?" Yeah, the color green looks great. Put 100 on it. Hit really nice, and after that, never went back. So my record on that
So
is
you're
actually
one for
pretty good.
one.
So they're the sucker. Yeah, I'm 1 for 1.
You're
1 for 1, man.
see, but
Yeah.
that's smart, man. Like you can that average can only go down, right? When you're at 100% hit
It can
rate,
only go down. Yeah.
it can only go down. So you see, the smart
Yeah.
thing is that you stopped right there and you just walked away. You did it for fun. Oh, look at that!
That's
It
it.
happened to have won. The risk is
It
if you
was
say, "My
wild.
God, I
Yeah.
am awesome at this." Right? Let's do it again.
Right. Like, oh, yeah, yeah. I know myself very well. Pure luck. The odds were
Yeah.
crazy. So really nice payout. All right, friends, let's go over to find out what's happening next week here at Bear Traders in our community events. You can always go to bearbutraders.com, click on webinars so you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks.
All right, guys. We have a full slate for next week, as usual. Looking forward to it as we head fully into this month of October. Monday, we have 2 different sessions for you that help you get trained up and ready for the week ahead. Starting with Brendan at noon, who's going to talk about DOS Trader and how you can configure and set that up. Use it with whatever broker you want, but he's going to help you with the configuration. It's a great tool, very functional, but it can be a little difficult to figure out how it functions. They do what they can with their menus, but this has been built and developed and redeveloped over so many years. It's a little weird, so it's good to seek out help. And especially if you're working on it over the weekend, you might want to go to this Monday class to get some hints on what you can do and use it for. Even if you don't need any hints, you might want to go just to hear what other people are asking, because it might give you an idea of a way you can use the tool that you hadn't thought of. So consider going to that DOS Trader Pro class on Monday at noon. And then at 8 p.m., Carlos does his onboarding class focused on new members, but good for anybody who wants to understand the value you can get out of your membership, everything that we've got available in the community, as well as some just basics on trading and some tips on how to get yourself set up and going. So it's at 8 p.m. Both of those are for all members. You don't have to be an elite. The rest of these webinars are just for our elite members, being that their membership packages allow them access. Tuesday is strategy and trade book. We've got a specifically focused session coming up. Wait a second. This is October 15th. I know there's a week in between there, and I seem to recall that we'd had a different topic. I don't remember what it is, but there will be a session on Tuesday at 8 p.m. I thought it was Thor that was doing something on option trading. That seems to be what I recall, but our website here seems to have jumped ahead. All right, Mike's in. He said yes, it's the futures. Okay, so I sort of remembered it. Thor is doing a session on futures next week on Tuesday. So Tuesday at 8 o'clock, that'll be Thor on futures, and then the week after, I guess we're going to Ad Zero is going to be talking about key intraday strategies. We'll get that fixed up so the website's accurate, but know that every Tuesday, 8 p.m., we have a webinar for you. All right. Wednesday, we do our psychology series, and next Wednesday, October the 9th, this is consistent. Wesley is going to be talking about his journey to mental resilience and how you can sort of better manage your own. So put that in the calendar. You'll look forward to that. And then the week after, Mike is back in the saddle talking about his trading mindset and how you can set up a support network. So that will be on Tuesday, October. I got the month right. October the 16th. Thursday. By the way, on Wednesday as well, not only do psychology, but we have this new book map series that Nathan leads. That's at noon on Wednesdays. And because we just had so many questions, so much interest in Bookmap, he's kindly agreed to help people out with it, give you, again, some tips and tricks on how you can best use it and get the most from it. So if you have questions that pop up, right, or you're interested in understanding the tool and whether it's might be something you can add to your weapons arsenal to take on the markets, then attend that webinar Wednesdays at noon. Thursday, we do our mentorship series like we did yesterday. We'll be doing it again next week with John at 11, Jared and Megan talking options at 2, Lenny at 4, and then Thor, of course, at 8 p.m. So that will be the slate of activities, and hopefully you'll join us next week for all of those. If you want information on the markets at any time, you can go to tradingterminal.com. It's the place to go to get information on the markets. We do it every morning. We get all of our information on the market, the calendar of events, check out the news. You can even go into the scanners and use that throughout the course of the day. It's very configurable. It's got everything you want. This is a tool designed for active traders. So check it out. We think you'll be impressed by what you see. And if you want to join us here at Bearable Traders, be part of our community on a full-time basis, you can do that. You can do it using a trial membership. We've got the intro, which if you go to the website, of course, is always $39, but you can get it for just $1. If you've never done it before, use the code bearabletraders.com/YouTube to get access to that $1. Again, the dollar, we don't need the dollar, but it's a way just to make sure that the scammers and the bots aren't in there. We only want a room with real people who are focused on trading and doing it seriously. And pretty much that's what we've got. So we got a great community. Again, get in there. I'm sure you'll love it. They're very helpful. They're kind people. It's a great trading community. I enjoy it. And I've been here for pretty much longer than anybody. So basic or elite monthly are those 2 monthly packages you can take advantage of, or the elite annual, which is the way to just secure it for a year, and then you don't have to worry about it. So hopefully we will see you in the room one way or the other, and you can trade with us live all day, every hour, every minute that the markets are open. We are here trading with you. So let's set some levels. We'll find out what our moderators are watching, and then we'll get ready for the open as we trade live with Brian, who should be back, and Thor, I think, are 2 live traders today. So looking forward to that.
All right, absolutely, friends. All right, right now my list looking at Baba, Tesla, Apple, POTR, and Nvidia. Things are pulling back slightly, especially Nvidia from the pre-market highs. Quick look at the SPY, still holding here, so we'll see how the market open treats this thing. Right now, looking everything in the green so far, besides Rivian and ZIM. So, oh, look at ZIM dropping some more, making a new pre-market low here, down at 12.6 now. And Rivian is just holding here from the lows of the pre-market. All right, let's set some levels, and then we'll see what our moderators are looking at. We'll start with Baba. Again, another gap up for Baba, recent high here. We are sitting at 117.45 is this pre-market's high, and then the low is sitting at 115.52. So once we mark those 2 levels there, you don't really need to do anymore because the highs and lows are doing an amazing job here for you on the daily, and we also have the previous day close. So once you look at that, you are pretty much set. Big Wrestler on YouTube is asking if we're not looking at a FUTU today. No FU to you today. But man, yeah, it's in play. It's in play. But yeah, it's there. We got Baba. A lot of these are pulling back a little bit, but FUTU a little more aggressive. I have Baba and PDD when it comes to Chinese tickers this morning. I gotta say, it's gonna be interesting going into the afternoon hours in the market because you got so much uncertainty going on, all over the world here, especially with the potential missile strikes and all that stuff going on. Uncertainty is not good. So going into this weekend, we'll see how the markets end. before Friday, right? So people don't like to be stuck within 2 days when a lot can happen in the Middle East over there. So we'll see. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla's another one on deck here this morning. Up 2%, 2.7 million shares traded right now. Tesla looking good. Again, traded well yesterday. Really nice sell-off, as Peter showed you guys throughout the entire day. It's $12 sell-off, by the way. This morning, pre-market high, 246.30, and then the low of the pre-market, 242. No, I'm sorry, 241.89 is the low of the pre-market there. And if you look at the daily, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Good support towards the bottom is the previous day close that we have here. If we were to lose that, we do have the low from yesterday all the way down around 237.66. So you're pretty much set here when it comes to Tesla. Taking a look at Apple. Apple continuing to push higher. We're going to remove some of the old levels from yesterday. You can see here the previous day close is acting as great support there, right? So really good support. A few times, look at every time we went under that previous day close, we found a way to come back up. So that's great buying support there, coming right in and pushing the stock higher. But today we are moving up 1%. Again, good news on the overall market with the numbers this morning. 227.94 is the high of the pre-market. We'll slam a level there, and then we'll slam another one over at 229.49. Looks good as well in case we do move higher. If we look at PLTR, tons of volume. Really great day yesterday and the day before. Back-to-back green days here. Today they're up 1.6, mainly with just the overall market movement that we're seeing here. High of the pre-market, 39.91. And then if we look at the low of the pre-market, it's just right where our previous day closes, so don't have to worry about that much. We'll look to the left and see when's the last time we were up here. Looking at a weekly, monthly. Okay, so we're getting close to our all-time highs, which is going to be right around 44.89. All right, if it could be higher if there's some pre-market or post-market action there, but on the daily, I'm the weekly, I'm showing a 44.89 there. So still got some ways to go, but again, we're in the area as this thing continues to climb higher here. All right, so POTR looking good this morning. That's all the levels you really have on it. Good volume, traded very well and clean yesterday. Had a beautiful breakout at the market open. Let's see if that can repeat itself today. Again, PTR usually a hit or a miss. NVIDIA trying to get going here the last couple of days in the green. So pre-market high at the moment is 125.16. We'll slam one there. And then towards the bottom, we do have the previous day close and the highs for the last 2 trading days. So don't really have to add anything towards the bottom. There's plenty of levels there. Let's focus on the top side of things. If we do break out 127.42, you can clearly see how many days are slamming into that. So you want to have a level there as well. And in case we are going to be strong, 131.07 could be an area. That's the major level. There is something slightly below that. If you look at here, you can see how many days are slamming into this closing opening right around 129.06. So I think it's worth putting that there as well in case we do decide to start breaking through some of these levels, especially at 127.42. If we can get there, that would be a very nice move for NVIDIA. So that's my list today. There's some other ones on here too that might be interesting, like ZIM. Again, continuing to lose a lot of ground, and also Rivian. We'll see how the market open treats Rivian. I'm going to keep a close eye on that one. It's not going to be on my list here, but we'll be watching it closely. But I think what we have now has tons of volume and can be very, very explosive as Tesla looking to get to their pre-market high right now. So, all right, Peter, let's see what our team is watching this morning.
Indeed, our team's coming in with their lists on this Friday, starting with Thor. First in with NVIDIA, AMD, the SPY, and the Qs. He's going to be trading futures on those. Mike is keeping it tight, as always, with NVIDIA and Tesla. Brian, in early here. He's eager to go after not being able to trade yesterday with AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and ZIM. I'm also watching ZIM as well as BABA, Amazon, NVIDIA, Tesla, and AMD. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and BABA. There's 2 IPOs that I've got here on the list for today. So I'll let you know if and when those open. Pierre's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, and Amazon. And we're waiting for the rest of the moderators to come in with their list this morning. So I think it's going to be a good day. I'm feeling good, Carlos.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm feeling good too. I hope my trading is going to end good, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great.
All
So
right.
we'll
What we
see
have to
how
remember
this
on these
Friday
days, when
ends.
you're feeling good, right? That doesn't mean just jump in on things, because that feel good can turn
Yes.
to a feel bad
Yeah,
real fast if you start just
real
leaping
fast.
at stuff. So I've
Yeah.
learned this the hard way. So, that's why I always want to share my messages with you, so you can hopefully learn them without the cost of the losses. So yeah, be
Yeah.
extra cautious. If you feel really good or really bad on any given day, that's when you have to be extra cautious, in my opinion. Take deep breaths. Make sure, is this really a good trade? Is it really something I want to jump into? If it is, then go, right? By all means, get there. But if it isn't, don't be afraid to sit. I'm waiting for a better opportunity. So, Carlos, what do you remind everybody on Fridays?
On Friday, guys, again, it's every day, every trading day is important, right? Some people think, oh, it's not only Friday, we should do this every day. But there is something about Fridays. We are emotional, psychological beings, all right? So things affect us differently. On Friday, guys, make sure you follow your rules, because you cannot make up your bad trading today, or not being disciplined into 2 more days. And there's nothing worse than going into the weekend with a bad feeling about, man, how bad I traded on Friday. How bad was my discipline? Didn't follow my rules. It eats at you for the next 2 days. So today is all about being disciplined, guys. If you had a great day, excellent. Keep it that way. Come in with a positive, stable mentality. And if you had a bad week, today's not the day to be a hero and try to make it up. So just stay cool, stay calm. So tomorrow morning, when you're eating pancakes, eggs, or whatever you do in the mornings with your family, friends, you are not thinking about trading. You're being in the moment. So very, very important, guys. With that, Brian, and who's trading with Brian, Peter? I know you have the schedule. I don't have it in front of me.
Thor said he would be doing it all week, so it should
Oh,
be Thor
nice.
and
Oh, okay, okay,
Brian.
good.
They should be ready to go. I think before the market
Ah,
today,
excellent.
I'm going to be listening to a little Nina Simone, because now that I've said that, I put it in my own head, and I got to do it. So
There you go. Friends, while we wait for Brian and Thor to hop on in and join us, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We're sitting at a very low number today. It was 91 when I saw it earlier. I'm refreshing, only 125. Peter and I are very short of our goal of 300 by the time we finish our pre-market show. So if you can help us do that, that would be awesome. We really, really appreciate it. So it helps us out a ton. You'd be surprised with that little gesture of just, sliding this thing called the cursor over towards that thumb does for us. I haven't even hit the thumbs up here, so I'm gonna do it with you guys. See, that's why I don't blame you guys, because I do the same thing too, right? I haven't hit the thumbs up. I'm here watching the show and I haven't hit it, so
for
I'm so
shame.
bad at that. So I know there's other people. I know there's other people that do the same thing. I get it, my friends. Slam that thumbs up there for us. We really appreciate it. So thumbs up there on my end. I did my part. Help us as well. 181, excellent. 283, that's a beautiful thing. All right, guys.
There you go.
We'll wait for Brian to get in. Peter, any plans for the weekend as we wait for our trading buddies?
I got dinner tonight with some family, so that'll be good. The usual pickleball and cycling, and I don't know, and we'll see what else. Might have to do some cleaning, which is not as much fun, but I like the results. I don't like the process. So
Awesome.
I
All right, there it goes. I got some apple picking set up for this weekend, and that should be fun. And weather's
I
is
don't.
looking very
What's
good
for
for it.
dinner?
So
I don't know. My wife picked the restaurant, and she said the menu reminds her of our time in Budapest. So I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm looking forward to it. So
there you go.
should be
Good
fun.
morning, Brian and Thor. How you guys doing today?
Good morning, everybody. Doing well.
Morning.
Excellent. I think Thor, you might be on mute. We can't hear you.
What's
Yeah, I
that?
can't hear you.
Can
Thank
you
you,
hear me?
sir. I actually was
There
on
you
mute
Now we
because I was
got
trying not to keyboard over you guys for a change. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Oh no, we've given him like
There you
trauma
go.
now. Poor guy.
Andrew will be back soon, everybody. I think they finally kicked him out of Tibet, and he actually started a family while he was there. It was crazy. I saw all these pictures of him.
Is he
He
bringing the
somehow, up with
family
a
with
wife
him?
and two full-grown children. I don't know how it happened.
We were
It was,
talking
it
about
was
that
the
It's
wildest
yesterday.
got to
thing.
It's
get
funny.
them
He's
visas to
always
come
wanted a
over.
family.
Brent,
It's
we
funny. Check out
need
his
some
social.
theme music. We need some free to air like Brady Bunch theme music. Every time we get this Foursquare, that's what always gets into my mind is the Brady Bunch theme song. As we
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it gets us
we have
royalty
to be
free.
careful. Be careful about getting banned on YouTube.
I know. That's
Can't
why
do
it's
no
got to be some
copyright.
free to use.
Yeah.
YouTube
Stuff
has a
for
lot
real.
of
Yeah.
free music you can use, so I can
Yeah.
look in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We could make an original.
All right,
So,
friends. We'll let you guys get ready and take us to the market open. Have a great weekend, guys. I'm going to be in chat, and we'll talk to you there.
thank
Yeah.
you,
Trade
sir.
smart, everybody.
Right on. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I guess jobs numbers strong, way stronger than expected.
Yeah,
Payrolls
market
too.
likey.
Yeah, which I'm surprised. I kind of thought
The only thing that like kind of bothers me this morning, Brian, is we're giving up a lot of ground right now with very little volume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is a really nice rally and I appreciate that, but we are missing volume on this rally. So it feels unusually disingenuous to me. So I'm going to kind of be a little skeptical at the open. We're very extended, very big moves in the pre-market already. And I want to kind of see how things set up. I really like NVIDIA and Apple today. NVIDIA
Right.
and AMD today.
AMD
where
is
they're
it.
opening at.
Yeah, AMD is right at a level here at 167.80. Go back a couple of days there. We double topped there. So
Sorry to interrupt you both. Could you share your screen to the
Yes.
chat?
Ah.
And then Brian, a segment
Brad.
that some of our viewers have asked, and I think it's a really good segment, is if you can just go through a book map for us.
yeah, sure. We shall do that.
Salim, I would expect low volume in the pre-market. I would not expect the price to move this far on low volume. So having low volume in the pre-market is completely normal and something I would expect. Moving, having the SPY, for instance, move from, 569.50 all the way to 573, which is basically its daily ATR in the pre-market on low volume is not what I would expect. And keep in mind, the SPY, as of many tickers, rarely leaves without touching PDC first. So we're highly likely to do a gap fill today. And we're opening like on the SPY, PDC is below 568. And we're opening up at 572.50. So like I said, that we're really, really high. For me, we're too high to buy. So, at this point, I'm going to either take a short or I'm going to be sitting on my hands for 15 minutes to an hour, while I wait for things to get into a range where I can buy. But right now, everything's just so over the top. Ooh, pretty book.
Yeah, it's really difficult to, when you get a big move like this in the pre-market, it's really difficult, sort of open to trade because, now you've got sort of a big move already in the market. But I tend to agree with Thor here. I think it's not a great time to be chasing stocks up at this level here. So anyway, yeah. So I probably just sort of sit and wait it out a little bit. Here's Tesla. Tesla's does have an order around 250. If you look at checking out the book map here, Tesla's got some orders above. There is an order way down here. It's kind of a no intention to fill order at this point until we start selling off. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA does have some orders to the upside, fairly bullish looking book here.
Yeah, and NVIDIA's got more range left too. NVIDIA, I could see going to 126 today. So it could go to 126 reverse and sell all the way to 120.50, and that would still be its ATR. So NVIDIA's been moving a lot lately. So we can have fun with this one if it gets in the right spot.
Yeah, high 127, sort of 127 area, 126.80. So yeah, it's looking good. Obviously, good news on that Blackwell chip.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing that gets me, Brian, and it's like someone was saying here that the report this morning was better than expected. I agree.
Yeah.
But generically, if the market is going to go up, it accumulates. It doesn't distribute, right? So generically, like opening range traders, pro tip: if the stock's going to go up, it normally goes down first. If it's going to go down, it normally goes up first. It's because if it's going to buy and start buying and moving lower, it's going to normally distribute. So they'll move up, sell a bunch of shares, then they'll go down and start buying. Right? It's not even a fake out. It's just it's a part of the process, right? It's alleviating inventory and pressure and stuff like that. Right. So right now we have is a very quick move upwards. So if we were really excited and we were really strong, why would we not have moved down and found a large buy, bought off of them, accumulated, and then prepared for a very long lasting rally? That's why I'm saying it just seems a little disingenuous with us being where we are right now on the amount of volume we've had, because there was no accumulation. We just popped.
Yeah. So here's Apple. Apple does have an order at 230, but book is a little bit bearish. Can tell by actually bullish, I should say. So we're right at the view app. Amazon looking at it's pretty crazy right now. Crazy price action. Market's selling off a little bit. Here is Zim. I know Peter's looking at this possible rising devil trade, so a bit of a pop up here, and then down to fill some of these orders at 1880, 60, and 50. So might have a nice move on Zim as well. So right now,
Amazon's throwing some really interesting high volume up here in its selling range as well. See what I mean? That like high value area here on Amazon, one on the daily 186.25. Also the 50 SMA, we're hitting the underneath of it. Everything wicked right up into a perfect spot to sell off this volume. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what happens. This is giving me it's giving me the Admiral Akbar. It's a trap feels right now. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Queued up and ready, baby.
You're right. Hey, good to see Susan in the room. Susan's been busy. I know she's had some other things going on in her life, as always. So nice to see her on posting.
Yeah. Playing Supermom and all that
Okay,
stuff. Ding, people. Good luck. Don't forget YouTube. The feed is ever so slightly delayed. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Keep it in mind. Yeah. So here, where are we going to go? Where are we going? Order book fills up a bit here as the market opens. So this is kind of the crazies. The retail traders, none of the institutions really step in and start doing anything until let a minute or two go by. Let some of the stuff settle out here. Tesla's popping up. It's at R4 right now.
Here comes the volume.
Yeah, some volume. Trying a bit of a short on AMD at 167.10.
I like your style.
Yeah, I think. Well, let's see what it does here. Let's see where we go. Nvidia's selling off.
There's a buyer at this daily level.
Yeah, buyer just stepped right back in, so I'm getting out. Yeah, I'm out.
It's a nasty squeeze.
Yeah.
There was a buyer sitting right at that daily level.
Yeah.
As soon as it came back in, they hit it, and they hit it fast, too. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, yeah, you got to be fast at the open, otherwise. So again, sort of as we expected, sort of volatile price action here.
Brian,
I'm back in.
Can I just say you called it for me?
What's
called my
Zim?
trade.
Yeah.
Short Zim, man. We're in
awesome.
like Flynn here, man. It's
Nice.
beautiful. Look at this. I'll post it here in the room so everybody can see it. But
yeah, post it.
Classic devil.
Woo, nice.
Yeah, pop and drop.
I have
Pop
you
and drop, baby.
on stream, Peter, if you want to share your screen.
I couldn't
I can
share a screen.
here. I can throw it up on mine.
It's good sometimes to share these trades because I don't often trade the open, but I've got to see like a perfect setup, right? And when I do, that's the type of thing that I will jump at. So this morning, if I just share this with you guys, Zim, and this is, I like this example because look where my entry is, right? Look where the volume came in. I waited for the volume because I know that on a NYSE stock, this is a New York Stock Exchange stock, you often get that moment. Let me just take another partial here, move my stop back. You've got to wait for the volume to come in, right? And notice it made a little pop. I put my stop actually just happened to have been just above that. I put it at the pre-market level. You can see where my entry was, and then partialing all the way down. So, rare pre-market or not pre-market, rare early morning trade for me, but you stick to the rules. Off you go. Jonathan, that's what Brian sort of created it. It's called Rising Devil. We got two, Rising Devil and Fallen Angel. So this is basically a falling stock that you're looking for a pop and then a drop in the direction of the news-based momentum. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
I like they put in here, Peter, someone said he doesn't always trade the open, but when he does, it's a rising devil.
There you go. Exactly. There we go. All right. Back to your regularly scheduled trade.
Deal.
Back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Dang NVIDIA, man.
Nice one.
I really wanted NVIDIA at the open, but it wasn't in the right R4, but it looked like it was.
I did jump in on a bit of a short. Got in late on that short on Sim. Unfortunately, Peter got a much better entry than I did. AMD is just dog's breakfast right now. NVIDIA has been a little bit better. This 167.80 is a prior is a prior level on AMD. So if it can break out of here, it actually might run. Here we go. A lot of orders here up to 169. On AMD.
NVIDIA just came back to under, it sold and then did a little weak volume pullback to VWAP.
Yeah.
The
Q's just bounced off of the VWAP. Same with the SPY. He's long some AMD. See if it goes. If we can get this push through this. Lots of liquidity here.
Look at Amazon. That's wild. Oh, wow. With a book on that thing.
Yeah, lots of liquidity. Apple just dropped a lot here. Wow. Okay, AMD's coming back below my break even. So I'm going to do here. I guess still has a lot of orders to the upside. Q's.
So.
Yeah, like I said, it's not been an easy trading morning here. A lot of volatility, sell off. Now the SPY is dropping below the VWAP now. It's interesting. See, we got a seller here at 168 on AMD. See if we can push back through there. Regardless, a lot of green on the screen.
A lot of green on the screen. It'd just be really interesting to see how we do. So far at the open, SPY and Qs haven't like started to rally at all. So and actually most of the volume has come in as it has moved lower, not as it's moved higher. So I'm still kind of holding on to my original thesis. I'm just don't know if we're in that moment yet.
There we go with AMD. Beauty. Yeah, I'm just going to sell some here at 168.50.
Like where Qs are at. I would have trouble longing tech tickers because the ETFs and futures are so far extended right now. So I would have trouble longing tech tickers, although like Amazon right now, Nvidia, I mean, all of those are looking pretty awesome. So still strong. I knew this was going to, that's what I was talking about before. I was kind of like, that's, I knew that kind of today I was either going to get something fairly quick or I was going to end up getting stuck for a half hour or so waiting for stuff to get into the right ranges. I like Qs here, potentially for a short, but I haven't seen enough selling yet.
See what happens to AMD here. I might get out of the rest if it drops. From here, we start to head lower. There are a few orders here building. The downside, we've got a lot of orders to the upside still.
Like the ES right now has a huge order, like down at like 57.20. I mean, that's really far below us. And I mean, that's our best buyer. It's just hard to imagine we're going to buy out of right here on the market.
I'm out of the rest of AMD. I don't like the way it's trading. Looking a little scary here. Like it might break down. Qs are...
I don't know. It's hard to read right now. The volume isn't really like we don't really have the volume in either way. We're just chopping. Do we have any more news today, or was that it? I forgot to check.
Just the 8:30 was the big one. The payroll numbers.
See if we got anything else going on that could. I think 8:30 brought. Yeah, I mean that's it.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. I'm like parched.
Right on, man. It's all that you can just come to Vancouver, stick your head out the window. You won't be parched. All right, nothing for me. So I'm kind of not a great day. A loss and a win on AMD. So what's it going to do here? Yeah, I know. I can see Apple. Apple was the short du jour. Unfortunately, I did not trade that. AMD might be setting up for a move higher here, but just I don't know. It's really hard to say. SPY in the Qs not really doing anything. We had the drop, now we have backup, and Tesla's looking like it's going to break out here. Pull back to the 9 EMA, and now testing high of day again.
I'm kind of like just watching Qs up here.
Yeah.
We've tried to push again. No volume to the buy side at all. If we can't move up soon, it's gonna, it'll cough. It'll just throw up. But there is a high volume area here that it kind of bought from in pre-market, so they're trying to hold here. If I feel like they're trying to get buyers, I just don't feel like we're getting buyers, and they're only going to be willing to stay here for so long. So it'll be interesting to see what they pick.
A little bit of a pop there on AMD, and then a rejection. Let's see, still some buyers in AMD by the looks of it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot's struggling now. Like a lot of these tickers are struggling to move.
Yeah, but the buying is really low volume.
Yeah, I mean, with all the news, the volume has been all on the sell side for the Q and the SPYs right now. Like every time our volume increased, it was pretty much on a lowering candle. It feels distributionary to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use Sierra Chart, but I do have a buddy of mine who uses it and enjoys it quite a bit. I use Bookmap. There's a buyer.
Oh, Tesla broke out. Kind of what I expected. Yep. Funny, the Qs went back down, tested the VWAP again, bounced off it hard.
Mm-hmm.
In Apple, not surprising, bounced off PDC, came right down to PDC. Yeah, Tesla's at yesterday's high.
Let's look at Tesla. Maybe I can have fun with Tesla now.
I think AMD's gone to 169. There's the pop.
Tesla's in a freaking counter trend right now. Look at that thing go. Stuck right
at yesterday's. Right, careful. Yeah, just be careful. It's
Tesla
at yesterday's
sold
high.
From the 250 to 251 area a couple of days ago fairly well.
Drop again on the Qs.
The futures, the NQ is struggling in a very similar way to the Qs today.
Yeah, so you would have thought a strong jobs report would have sort of sent the market lower. But again, not a...
Watching Tesla here for a sell.
Big drop on NVIDIA. Went to low of day.
Tesla has a really large order at 250, and they pulled their secondary order. So that's normally not something they do when they rally, because they like to use the secondary order as kind of like a buffer in case they blast through the primary with too much volume. The secondary will buffer it and hold it. So having them pull the secondary order off generically means they're starting to sell in front of the primary. So so just kind of be careful. It doesn't mean it is a short. We still need to see the selling, which we don't see a lot of just yet on Tesla. But it is interesting to see that order come off the book. It's not a very strong side to see top side orders start coming off the book when you haven't hit your big order yet. It normally means your limit sellers are getting impatient. Yeah, book map. You can see them on your chart after the fact. Like you can identify a primary buyer generically using like VPOC, and then the secondary or buyer or seller will often be the order that's just above or just below within either like a 10 cent or quartered increment. Sometimes 50 cents if it's a bigger ticker. Yaka over in YouTube, I agree. I think the market has everything pretty much priced in most of the time. Like, that's what I was talking about with the pre-market move and why I was feeling like it was just going to be, like, today we were going to end up getting kind of trapped long and we were going to eventually wash out, is just kind of because of, it basically what you're saying. You know what I mean? I just think it's priced in. I think people already kind of had an idea of what things were going to be. So... yeah. Send you a private message if you get a chance. Did you send it through the chat room, Vlad, or did you email me? If you sent it through the chat room, I have my do not disturb turned on because I'm doing YouTube, the main room, talking with Brian, talking with that, and doing that. And if I type a lot, then you hear this while I'm trying to type. So I'll try and yeah, I know. So send me an email, or if you want, just remind me like in like a little bit, like when I'm not doing this, because I'll just forget. I have ADHD. I can't remember anything.
You're one of those guys.
It's horrible. It's true.
I'm looking for something to trade here. AMD seems to be, it's got a big order up at 169, but it's selling back down. NVIDIA is looking a little weak here too.
Nice.
I think AMD, yeah.
Northern Frontier kayak fishing. 6R on AMD. Way to go.
The trade on the best trade. That best trade was Apple was the short trade that really would have worked.
Just waiting. Stinking AMD. We're under VWAP now on Qs. Our current low, we're kind of messing around with. We have a buyer on QQQ sitting at 486.50 right now, and I would not call them a strong buyer. If you're looking at the Qs right now, when it came down and hit that, there was almost no volume when they got down to that order. So if there's a buyer there, they did not do anything. So far, still feeling pretty okay about the yield short thesis on the Qs.
Yeah, I'm short. I got short Apple.
Just gonna take a while.
Yeah. See what it does back at PDC here.
Hey, you know what my favorite gas station is, Brian?
What's that?
It's 7-Eleven, which is exactly the number of viewers we have right now.
Oh,
how are y'all guys doing over there?
Sweet.
I thought I'd come by and do my usual, what do you call it? The usual plugging for likes.
Begging.
Likesforbrian.com. Make
Yeah.
sure, you know, we're really here for 2 reasons, maybe 3. One reason is Brian and I just like talking and hanging out with each other, and this allows us to do that
Yes.
in a very easy environment.
Absolutely.
So we're really going to do this either way. But whether we do this publicly, you know, or just the 2 of us, you know what I'm saying, depends on how many likes we get. So
Yeah.
if you want us to keep hearing doing all this fun stuff, we got to see those likes in, because if not, then our producer gets mad. He literally like just starts yelling at us through these earpieces, and it like says these like just like things. Like, I was gonna actually complain, but Peter said I had to hand deliver my complaints in person. So and I'm in Florida and he's in Canada, so
Yeah.
you know, we can't do that. So anyway, thank you everybody. Much love.
Canada. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to cover.
Although I'm hoping to be up your
covering
way
some
in
Apple.
March. I'm hoping to be up there in March because we're going to have the BBT annual pilgrimage in March.
Yeah. I'm covering some Apple here at 225.70 back at PDC. This was a really sort of a nice setup. It had we had the big drop, we had the pop back up, and you know how I love this 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. This is a nice little setup where it just, you know, you get the drop, you get the consolidation, brings you back to the 9 EMA, and then immediately you get another rejection, which is the setup that I saw there. So I'm now looking for a loss of previous day. Looks like still holding here. We're really trying to hold on to green on Apple, but I'm just hoping we go red here.
Obviously, I'm short Qs. So
There we
and
go.
I've been short on Qs for a while. So I got short on
now-
Qs up near under the open price, and I just put my stop above this little level here, 47.80. Just stuck it right up there.
Nice one. Yeah, nice roll. We had a nice rollover on the Qs and the SPY here.
Yeah, I was eyeballing them. I know their tricks. I know what they were trying to do.
Uh-huh.
My profit target is actually right in front of R4, 480, 481. So if I can get a breakthrough 485 to tag R4, that'll be a 4 to 1. Hopefully some of y'all out there in YouTube were listening. For the past 20 minutes, I've been talking about how false I feel like this is and how they're trying to trap us in. I mean, hopefully you got some good longs when we were when those got called at the beginning, but you could kind of see what I was thinking on the market here and while we were going through there. So hopefully now with Tesla selling a bit, and I know Amazon's started moving. I know quite a few. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. And have made a little bit of money off of that.
I'm going to cover some more, little more Apple here to 25.44. So hopefully some people got that next leg down on Apple. That was a nice little move. S3 down at 225. So that's kind of what I'm targeting for a next.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, baby, yes. There we go.
There we go. Target hit like a that.
Dang.
There we go.
Taking a little
that
more
was really
off
nice
here.
because I took a loss on AMD at the open, so I wanted to. I took a full loss, so I needed this good hit. I am also in SPY right now as well. So,
all right, taking some more off here. 225.11.
Ran a much wider stop on SPY, unfortunately. Kind of got a bad fill.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice
That's
what
okay.
a leg lower.
I got a lot of room.
That was a beauty leg lower.
Beauty.
They were right down at S3 on Apple. Probably
that
going
was
to bounce here. We're going to get a bounce. Yeah, that was a nice sell-off move. Nvidia went
My
red.
entries and stops are in the BBT room. They can see our shared my shared screen in the BBT room, and they can see my my entries and my stops. Those though we don't, our live screens aren't on the YouTube because it's delayed. And I don't like calling trades, especially for YouTube, because of the delay. I wouldn't want you to hear me say now YouTube's a long and have that be 30 seconds after it was actually a long, and then you end up getting a bad fill. So I will give you I will give you over, if you were paying attention though for the past 10 minutes or so, I've been sitting here going, Q's looks weak. It really looks like it's rolling over. It's not pushing. Volume doesn't look good. Really looks like a nice spot. It got to Tesla. I said, this looks like a really good spot for a short. So I do try and throw it out there a little bit, but without calling it directly, because I want you to make sure you get them, and you can feel good knowing that money is your money.
All right. Good trade on Apple. Good trade on those indexes. Thor, rock on.
Nailed it.
As they used to say in the 70s.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on. Yeah. I love it. I grew up in the 80s. So fun.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm an 80s baby because I still use retro colors on everything. That or I'm on the spectrum. It's one of those.
The tie-dye shirts.
Oh, I love tie-dye.
That was the 60s. That was 60s. 80s baby. Amazon's having a tough time here. Yeah, I kind of thought if I'd have known the numbers on the payrolls were going to be that strong, I really would have thought the market would have dropped on that news. But no. Well, we're dropping now.
Yeah. Oh, I love that's funny.
Yeah, the big hair. We love the big hair. Well, AMD is dropping. It's still got some orders to the upside, but not a lot of buying interest.
That's funny. You trade the same stocks all the time. How do you handle the wash sale problem? I didn't want to ignore you, Sid. But one thing I am not is a CPA. I don't want to advise you on tax stuff because I don't know where you're located, what state you're in, what country you're in. There's all kinds of different ramifications. I know how I do my stocks here, or my taxes here in Florida, right? But that would be very difficult for me to advise you on that matter here. However, we do have webinars that are often provided by, I think it's Green Trader Tax or Green Tax Trader. I'm sorry, I don't remember right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Maybe check out their site. They have a lot of information on that kind of stuff that would, be given to you accurately and by a actual CPA, which, I think it would be much better for that kind of stuff. Wouldn't get on trouble with old Uncle Sam, you know what I mean? Getting advice from your good buddy Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to. We can't give tax advice or financial advice. I mean, it's just first off, it wouldn't be legal.
Right.
We're
And that's one
not,
of the main
we're
reasons,
not,
obviously, I don't call my trades out. Right. There is a slight delay. All right. But there's also legal ramifications. I don't want to be copy traded and then have people say that I'm telling people when to get in and out of trades. So, but honestly, if you're a good trader and you know how to trade, you shouldn't want that anyway, because you should have your own methodologies for getting out of trades. So just me telling you I like this area for a short should be more than enough to get you interested in and out of a trade. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously the legal ramifications are wild.
yeah, I mean, there's been people in other rooms that have been called out by the SEC for almost acting like financial advisors. It's you've got to be licensed to do that. So we try to discourage people, and I mean that's the whole BBT community's philosophy, is to try to teach people how to build a trade book, how to figure out your own trades, your own strategies, and not just sort of blindly copy other people, because it's quite difficult. A lot of people just lose money trying to copy and follow other traders.
The thing is, and you know this as well as I do, if not even more, right? You and I will be trading the same exact ticker. You'll go long on it, make money on it. I'll go short on it, make money on it. And we traded the exact same range, but you have a more of a momentum style. I have more of a range style. So you're playing the long to the edge.
Yeah.
I'm playing the short off the edge, right? So, but if I was taking my cue off of you, then I would, that wouldn't be as successful of a trade, because I go for much longer distance on my hold. So if I was going long, I would run into the edge of the range first. So you got to know your system and what you're going after. Pro tip there, everyone's going to have a system that they're going to give you, but you should definitely do the work you need to do to make that system your own. So we just did a little weak volume pullback here on the QQQ back to the underneath of R4, which is also yesterday's high. So we found a seller here yesterday. So the interesting thing will be is when we had to buy through a seller here in order to get to the higher price. So now that we're coming back down to where this buyer should be, the question is now, is there a buyer here? Right? If there is a buyer here, you could entertain the idea potentially of playing along here on the Qs for a breakout or a continuation on that breakout. However, we distributed very heavily at R6, then moved to R4 first. So that play seems a lot less likely than us continuing our sell and running the downside range. If we run the downside range on QQQ right now, because of where we went short, we could actually go back to 479 today, which was yesterday's low, right? We had one heck of a move today on the Qs. So if you're trading in Q, for instance, or one of the high moving futures, I mean, this might be a good day just to sit on your hands and let that position marinate. Because if you run your full ATR today from the top to the bottom, you could be talking about a solid, for those guys trading the futures, you could easily be talking about close to a 350 point move today, maybe even more.
Yeah, I think that the strong jobs report, and also I think wage growth was pretty strong too. I think it was 0.4%, which on a annual basis, of course, 4.8%. That's one of the things that the Fed's watching for in terms of inflation. So. And we had some pretty strong PMI numbers this week too. Question is, are we going to get the buying brigade today? What do you think? They going to come in and save the day?
I don't know. Like I said, we went up first. You know what I mean? That's like kind of what I was saying before. Normally, if we're gonna buy, we dip and then buy. You know, buy low, sell high. It's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, but we didn't buy low. We just went straight high. So that normally means they're going to find sellers, and normally after they go find sellers, they have to go find buyers. And right now, the lower we go, the lower we can go. I mean, this is, you know, we're going to go back into range now. We're under R4 on the Qs. If we go much lower, we're going to go back inside yesterday and 2 days ago's high. Right? So that means we're completely back inside of yesterday's ranges now. Right? So we could run yesterday's range, which gets us back easily to 480. 3 days ago, we went all the way through 480 and then some. So our big buyer is likely at 480. So this thing really can just rock and roll.
Just looking at Spot Gamma has obviously big drop there. Woo, baby.
Still holding ES.
Yeah, I'm still short some Apple here. Again, it just did another similar setup. I could have added back there. Again, drops away from the 9 EMA, moves sideways, comes back to it, rejects right at it, and drops again. Bingo. Anyway, I'm just looking at Spot Gamma, trying to see where some of these prices might be for where we get to critical levels. Spot Gamma still has their 50% sale. I think it goes till the 6th. It's been fairly popular. If you're watching options and they make a pretty strong case for a lot of these zero DTE options drive some of the price of the stocks and the indexes. Wow, things are getting pretty ugly in the Middle East. Separate note there.
We're selling. I hope people got some Tesla shorts going too. What did I say about Tesla?
Yeah.
Right off of look at that 250. What did I say? I saw that. Remember I said I saw that order pull off the order book at above 250. So it looked like we were going to roll it. We were going to start selling because we had big bids below low of day and the orders got off. So they were probably selling in front of the big order. Boom. For you. Right? Look at that. That's so fun. Loves it.
Yeah, that was a nice flush there.
Ooh. So, check this out. For everybody out there in YouTube landia, you have to know at this point that we're trying to do cool stuff for you every day. So, because we're trying to do cool stuff for you today we got Phil coming in at 10:30. And Phil's going to be talking about options trading options with a small account. I think this is for a lot of people, especially if you're having trouble making PDT, for instance, or some of those regulatory things. Depending on maybe you're trading with like a different type of account, or maybe you just don't have enough funding to really get yourself, into a $30,000 account. Phil here will have some methodology to help you make some money, but with your small account trading options. So if you've got a little time at 10:30, I'd make sure and get by. I was gonna start off by begging you for likes and saying, if we get above like 500 likes, then I'm going to have my guy Phil teach you how to do options for. But that would have been disingenuous because he's already scheduled at 10:30. But it would have been fun to do just because I like messing with you. But I decided not to because I'm too tired, so I'm not going to. But if you happen to want to hit the like button anyway without me, oh wait, I did just ask. Anyway, thank you.
They should
so just
really
keep an
like
eye out.
for
10:30.
all your free advice this whole week.
Likes for Phil.
Yeah.
You did a great job, Thor. So everybody
Thank
in
you,
chat,
sir.
if you like Thor, if you like Brian, please like our video.
Please
We
give
just
us a
paused it,
like.
didn't
It's
Just kidding.
free advice, and all we're asking for is a free like.
I appreciate y'all too.
Yeah, thank you. So
We have a lot of fun.
And here-
Getting to trade with my buddy here, the Prophet of Profit, and hang out with you guys. It's a fun thing to do.
and if you're interested in a little bit of swing trading, a little bit of market review for the week, you can always check out my YouTube stock market review. Comes out Saturday or Sunday. It depends on how fast I can get it out, but you can subscribe to that. It's under my name, Brian Peasant. Or you can sign up and get that email that we send out every week. It's on the education page of the BBT website at the bottom. Just sign up, put your email there, and you'll get one email a week with a market
Absolutely.
review and a link to that video.
It's also linked in the YouTube chat as well.
Yeah. So right now I've been pairing one of my big swing trade ideas last or week or two ago was UVXY. Watching that because I knew we were kind of getting into an area of market volatility, and it's had a really nice run up. I took a fairly big position on that, so I've been pairing that trade. Just took a little more off here on this spike on one of my swing trades, but I still think we're still going to be into market volatility as we get closer to the election, and then of course the Middle East things have been helping that trade as well.
Hey, Mo and YouTube. I don't know where Andrew's at right now. Now I know he was like stuck in like Tibet waiting for a mountain to thaw or something like that. But the good news is while he was there, he actually apparently got a wife and had children. It's just wild that they're like 8 and 9 years old though. So I just don't know how that happened. It's actually quite, I guess things are just different in Tibet, grow faster or something. I don't know. Anyway.
I think you can inherit a family. There you go. Got to be happy with that. You don't have to go, get a couple kids that are already through the terrible 14s, 13, 14.
Trade journal question I love. Mina, I actually use a program to journal my trades. No affiliation. It's called TradeZilla. And it's a really nice program. BBT for tradingterminal.com also has some journaling software I think that they're going to come out with soon. But I use TradeZilla. I like a lot. And so at the end of every day, I upload my trades into it, and I take screenshots and I put them in. I actually have shared playbooks. I go in there and categorize, which trade I was, where it came from, all of those kind of things. So spend probably about a half an hour at the end of every day, going through and making sure everything's in the right spot. Stats will set you free when it comes to trading.
Hey Brent, did we get that picture up? That
Yeah, I can
Andrew
put it up
had
again.
on
Right here.
I wanna see
Instagram.
that. That makes me happy.
Just liked it.
Yeah.
Well, we might
There you
not
go.
see him again. He's found his
You-
happiness.
Maybe he's found his joy. He loves. He does like Nepal and Tibet.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. I like watching him go there. I wouldn't, but I like that he does it, because then I get to just live vicariously through him. You know what I mean? IG.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had I knew the buying brigade was going to come in at some point, and pretty much called it. So SPY and the Qs broke above the 9 EMA, and now we're trading around the 20 on both of them. So this is the next sort of area where you expect some resistance, possible rejection. I don't know at this point what's going to happen.
We went right down and hit 2 days ago's close on SPY and bounced right off of it. So we must have had a buyer right at the close from 2 days ago, and then came off of it there. Someone in YouTube was actually asking, when we're saying buyers and sellers, how are we finding some of these areas, like, of the where, when, and how concept? How are we finding that where? One of the easiest ways, and I know it's it seems rudimentary, is just, I like to use like a 15-minute chart. I go back like 3 or 4 days and I just look at where it sold from before. Like, where did it top before with volume that initiated a large movement from a high to a low? That's where there will be a big seller. If there was a seller that large there before, they will be there again, right? So if I buy, I'm going to target that seller. If I'm going to short, I'm going to short using that seller. I want to be as close to that seller as possible.
Yeah, and if and Thor says he's using the 15-minute. I like the 60, because it gives me a week or more of data.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could have like you can see here on the 60-minute chart with AMD. I mean, this is sort of 168 area was where we failed before. If you go back to 26th, 27th of September, it was kind of a double top there, and we kind of topped out there again. So again, that's where we're getting, we know there's going to be sellers there, because there were sellers there before. And people are looking at these charts, and it's a somewhat self-fulfilling sort of prophecy, if you want to call it that. People look at these charts and they know that there's that other people are going to be selling, so they're going to sell there too.
Yeah, we just came right back on the SPY, right back to the 50 SMA, basically VWAP right there too. Found a seller right where we sold from 571 when we pulled back on low volume around 1007. Found that seller in the exact same spot. Now we're catching volume back to the downside. I really think today ends up being, I think we sell off most of the day today, probably, unless something wildly changes. Right now, we're just moving into yesterday's range, and we could run all of yesterday's range. So if we don't find a buyer right here, it would be, if your buying brigade doesn't step in here real soon, it's more likely that we won't find a buying brigade today.
Yeah. Apple's heading back down to low of day here. Still hanging on to a little bit of few shares. It's to be part of history if we can get to 224.
Part of history.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, no matter how, you can look at all different charts. I mean, I like, as people know, I like 2-minute chart. I like the 9 and the 20 EMA on that chart. And you can see this QQQ was almost a perfect 920. We came down, then we came back up. We managed to get through the 9, as I mentioned. We came to the 20, and then I mentioned, of course, that where we got through the 9, came up to the 20, and then I mentioned the 20 EMA was going to be the next area that we were going to have challenges getting through, and we rejected right from there. So
No, I'm only short SPY right now.
And you just
I
you
should have
find
shorted
things that work
Tesla.
for you. You find things that work for you. That's the important thing. Thor's using some different tools. I'm using different tools. So we try to teach FBBT. We try to help you find what works for you. Big order at 224 on Apple right now.
I went ahead and put my SPY trade on a trail. I'm now trailing the 50 now that we've moved low. If we come off the bottom and come through the 50, it'll be too much like a double bottom. So I'll be happy to cut it if it comes back through the 50 this time. Yeah, I wanted to double check actually. Maybe Brian or Brent or someone maybe knows the answer to this. Andrew, he'll be back in time for the Boston get-togethers.
He should be.
Okay.
Yes,
We had a couple
October
people on the
25th.
YouTube kind of talking about, because it says join Andrew October 25th in Boston. So it's a few days away. So I think it should be okay. But I just wanted to make sure he's.
We
It'll
hope
either
so.
be him or it'll either be him or
Might
a
need to get an
cardboard cutout.
annulment first.
We'll just get a giant cardboard cutout. And we'll put him up in the
If he
corner.
doesn't show up, we'll make them fly me up first class.
Hey, there you go. I like that.
I feel like we can all agree to that without Andrew being around, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Get you
I'm all in.
rental Lambo.
Yeah,
I'm all in
actually,
on that one.
Let's do a little Gumdrop 2000, and we'll roll to Boston from Vancouver in the Lambo, Brian. Let's see how fast we can do it taking shifts.
No, I think the cars in Alberta right now. Shit, I was there yesterday. I could have picked it up.
Oh man, get it and come get me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Didn't even think about that.
It's got
Didn't even
insurance
think
now.
about it. Yeah, it's got insurance.
Sounds like a road trip.
Yeah.
Brian, Brian in the Lambo to Boston to Brian
To Boston.
to Boston.
Brian to Boston.
Brian to Boston. I like that.
Sounds like a social media waiting to happen.
No, take it take it for a burn through the Rockies.
I feel like Brian and I on a road trip would be some serious fun. I don't know about you guys. It would be a buddy movie, Paul. I feel like it would be. I think it would be a lot of fun.
What it would be like, John Candy and Steve Martin.
Yes, let's go. That sounds perfect.
Those aren't pillows. The Blues Brothers, yeah. Yeah, Planes, Trains. That was a classic movie. You gotta love that movie.
Oh man,
Steve Martin and John Candy were amazing.
So good. John Candy was my guy, man. God, that guy was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe before we go over to Phil, Thor, or Brian, maybe take a few questions before you wrap up.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we can
Let's
do
take some questions before we wrap things up here. Yeah.
So I was looking at the so this one I answered in here. I like this one a lot. Simon was asking, is it possible to be successful at trading without knowing how to read the tape? So first off, I would say I would recommend knowing how to read the tape, but you do not have to be good at it in order to be a successful trader. And I can only say that because I'm not great at reading the tape. I know how to read the tape. I know what the tape is doing. You know what I mean? But like Paris in here, like when he reads the tape, it's like Neo staring at the Matrix or something, man. It's like the wildest thing. I don't even understand what he can do there. Right. So what I do in order to supplement without knowing how to read the tape is I use volume and price analysis. combined with like the order book. So Paris will be reading the tape and he'll say, I see absorption. He sees absorption because when he sees lots of orders going across the tape, the price isn't moving. I'm saying I see absorption because I see lots of volume coming in, but the price isn't moving. You know what I mean? We're both kind of seeing the same thing. He's just reading it off the tape. I'm reading it using the volume chart. What do you think, Brian? I mean, you think you
No,
can? I think there's a few people in here that don't need the tape. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it gets back to the same theme that we've been talking about. It's, you know, our mission is to help you find what works for you, because like you said, Paris is like the master tape reader. I mean, he sees things I don't see. I mean, I've watched his courses, and I kind of sometimes see what he's talking about, but man,
sometimes
he's so good at reading the tape, you know. And I tend to read charts, and you know, I read the tape that way. Basically, I read the price action based on the charts, and I can. And Bookmap has been a big help for me too here. I've started to use that because I can kind of see where prices are going. But no, you don't have to be able to look at the level, you know, the level 2, and see what you know, and see where buyers and sellers are positioning.
Yeah, 100%. So, and this kind of goes in. Biagio, this kind of sticks into what he's saying. So when you're saying what by absorption, what you mean. So the way I read that is in volume and price analysis, right? Basically what we're doing is we're looking at a comparison, right, between effort and the result of the effort, right? So if I see a lot of volume coming in, I expect to see the price move. So if you see a lot of volume coming in, right, but the price doesn't go anywhere, that's absorption. Right. So when Paris is reading the tape, for instance, Paris was maybe not looking at the volume as much, but what he'll see that the price is trying to move up. But as it's trying to move up, he sees lots of green orders on the tape, but the price isn't going anywhere. So if there's a lot of green orders on the tape, but the price isn't going up, where is all of the ask going? Right. That there has to be a seller absorbing the price, or else you would go up. If there wasn't a seller there, all of that buying would create an upward movement. Right. So Paris uses the tape to see what I use volume to see, if that makes sense. Someone was asking how Brian, last question, and then we'll get over to our guy, Phil. How does Brian journal his trades? I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I just think when he trades, the journal journals for him, and then asks for permission. So Brian's like the Chuck Norris of trading. He doesn't journal. The journal actually journals for him.
I've been doing this a long time. I mean, I don't generally journal anymore, but I do. I will sit down and quite often, if as long as I'm not super busy, I mean, quite often I'll review my trades at the end of the day, or you know, sort of later in the afternoon when the markets are closed. I'll just review my trades and just see if, you know, because it's always good to see if you've done some, you know, I know when I do stupid things and when I do things where I break my rules. And I know there's other times I should have added with this Apple trade. I didn't. So, you know, I kind of beat myself up, but I don't necessarily write it down anymore. And sometimes
that's the benefit for being one of the goats. You know what I mean? You got your thing going on. So, buddy, I'm going to go ahead. Let's wrap this because let's go over to our buddy Phil. He's ready to talk about that options trading with a small account. And I think this is information these people are going to want. So we're going to get out of your way. Thank you so much for spending the week with us, everybody. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate the likes and the shares and all of that fun stuff. More than that, I appreciate my BBT family and, of course, my compadre in trading, the Prophet of Profit, Brian. Thank you so much, buddy, for hanging out with me this week. And, we're always making some money together, so let's do it again soon.
Yeah, exactly. You have a great weekend, buddy. I know you're going to hit the beach. I'm going to go.
Yeah, might as well. Got a little bit of time left, right? Still warm, so let's do it.
I'm going to try to stay dry here because it's pouring rain. But I'm also just going to get out of the rest of my Apple trade. So hung into that one. Hopefully some other people got that nice move down on Apple, because Apple's been kind of a nice trading stock today, sort of more steady, predictable to the downside. So Anyway, everybody, have a great weekend. Again, if you get a chance, you can check out my weekend video on YouTube. And yeah, have a good one. And Thor, you have a great weekend, buddy.
I see, buddy. Coming to you,
Cheers.
Phil.
Hey, Phil. We have you live. I think you're on mute on your end. No, we can't hear you still. Okay. We'll wait 1 second. Just check your mic setting. Make sure your microphone is defaulted. If you can go into your sound devices. Sorry, everyone. Stand by.
All right. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm playing around with a new video and audio app here on the computer, so haven't done this before with the microphone side of things.
No worries. Take it away.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, so thank you, Brian and Thor. Always great watching the duo there trade in the morning, the Prophet of Profit and Thor. And I this morning had a good day. Ended up going short on SPY around the same time Thor shorted the Qs. Was looking for that sell off after a brief morning consolidation. Really, I'm here to talk a bit about options and trading options with a small account and kind of the benefits that they offer when you don't have a large amount of starting capital. Brent, is this more of like a question and answer thing, or should I just kind of start
I think
off
you
here?
start, give people the basics,
Okay.
and then chat both in the BBT chat room and on YouTube. Get your questions ready. We'll do a Q&A with you in the next 5 minutes. So keep it brief, give them kind of a rundown, a preview, and then you can answer some questions in chat.
Awesome. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, guys. So just a little bit of a introduction to who I am and my trading journey. I joined BBT back in 2019, going into 2020. So I've been a member for a very long time. Have gained an enormous amount of knowledge. Just by being part of the community, and basically have logged on in the chat room every morning since 2020, which is awesome. You get to know, just the great folks who are the moderators and, just the other, longtime BBT members in the chat. So I was looking for a change. I started my career off in solar energy sales, and, things went well for 5 years or so, and then I just started to get a little burnt out. So that kind of had me looking around. I had heard about this day trading thing, but didn't know much about it. So hopped online, and as fate may have it, like a lot of us, I came to Andrew's book and ordered it. Devoured it. Got just enamored by the idea of trading. I ended up having enough funds. I had around $25,000, which is the pattern day trading minimum. So, what that means is if you are looking to day trade stocks, you with a margin account, and a margin account is an account that gives you, it allows you to take larger positions than the amount of actual cash you have in your account. You borrow that additional buying power from your broker. But in order to do that in an unrestricted way and trade in an unrestricted way with a margin account, you need at least $25,000 in the US in your account. So seeing as I had about that much, I was like, all right, this is great. I've read this book, I've learned a bit about trading and these patterns, and started out, traded in the simulator for a bit before I went live, and had some beginner's luck. Things were going great, but as we all know, trading is, you have to put in your time. You are going to pay the market at some point, your tuition, as we should call it. So, that ended up happening with me. My beginner's luck ran out, and my account started dipping below that $25,000 minimum to trade stocks, in an unrestricted way. So, COVID hit, and then, things got real. I had quit my job, I had a income property, an Airbnb, that was kind of keeping me afloat while I tried this new trader thing. And when COVID hit, all of my bookings for like a year out, just, my phone would ding, and it would be another canceled booking and another canceled booking and another canceled booking. So I ended up having to tap into that $25,000. And now I was looking at, an account that was significantly lower than that minimum day trading rule, the PDT rule. So I had to get creative. It forced me to reassess how I trade. And, that's what initially brought me into the world of options. It was really out of necessity. And I'm about to tell you, why I kind of, gravitated towards that. So with options, you have the ability to buy what are called calls and what are called puts. So, you buy a call when you think that the underlying stock that option represents is going to go up in value. So it in essence allows you to long a stock. You buy puts if you believe that the underlying asset, the stock, is going to go down in value. So with options, you have the ability to go both long and short, and going short doesn't require that you have a margin account, which, if you wanted to short a stock, you would need a margin account, from the get-go. So, now, I realized I had the ability to go both long and short. Option, a lot of folks do trade options in a margin account, but you don't actually have to. So, if you have a margin account and you're trading options, you need to both, you still need to have that $25,000 minimum account value if you want to, trade, uninterrupted, basically, more than 4 or 5 times a week. So, so what you can do, however, with options is, you can switch your account, and you can do this with stocks as well, but you can switch your account to what's called a cash account. So what that means is that you are simply trading your own cash. Your broker isn't giving you the ability to use their funds to trade. You are just using your funds, and let's say you had $5,000 in a cash account. Once you burned through that buying power per day, let's say you took 5 trades. Each trade was represented $1,000, in total funds allocated per trade. You would just, if you went to take a 6th trade, you would just get a message, in DOS or from your broker that said you no longer have the ability to trade, because you've burnt through, your cash, allowance, your account's buying power for that day. Options are interesting too because they settle in most cases overnight. So what that means is, if you were to trade stocks in a cash account, just use your own cash to trade stocks, you would have to wait generally 2 days for those funds to settle before you could then trade them again. With options, it's 1 day. And so you can trade 1 day with options, and then you go to bed, you wake up the next morning, your funds have settled in your cash account, and you have the ability to then trade again. So it really did solve quite a few issues that I was having. Now with the PDT rule and not being able to make a certain amount of day trades per day. The other thing that options give you the ability to do is, they're a leveraged instrument. So when you buy one option contract, what that means is that you have the ability, it is basically representative of 100 shares, of the underlying asset. So, if you get a dollar move, this is, very generally speaking here, by the way, folks. But if you get a dollar move on an underlying asset, to some degree that represents a $1 move for 100 shares of the underlying asset. So, with options, you do have the ability to capitalize with a much smaller, account size and position size, and you can still capitalize very well, on underlying moves of the stock. So I've been trading an options account now. If I'm not sure if some of you are following me, but I trade and post a lot of my trades on Twitter or X or whatever you want. And I've been doing these small account challenges where, I show that you can actually pull a significant amount of profit, with good trading practices out of a small account by trading options. And, I'm actually about to begin another small account challenge here, in the next day or so. I'll be starting that one. So yeah, so that's basically it. I'm happy to answer other questions and all of that. I'm sure this is a huge topic. There's so many different areas we can go into with options, but I really just wanted to talk about the fact that if you have less than $25,000, you can still absolutely learn how to trade, and you should always start in the simulator, but with good risk management and good just good trading practices, you can do quite well with options. So Brent, do we want to go over to YouTube questions?
Let's do some BBT chat questions first. I don't know if you have that open, but there's quite a few in there.
Yes, I do.
Ones.
Yeah, just give me a quick second here. Had it open, but then I muted it, so let me pull it back up.
Oh, you're on mute again.
Oh,
you're back.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Uh-oh, look.
I can tell you the questions if you want.
Yeah, I think that would be better. Sorry,
Okay.
I was getting the echo effect between the two rooms.
That's okay. I'll do it. Okay.
Sure.
Sam, hey, what DTE options do you buy and strike price related to current price? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I am typically dealing in the current week's options. So, when it comes to, your average, your normal stocks that we're looking at here, in the chat room, typically, that generally they have a Friday expiration. So I am, Monday through Friday, typically trading, just this current week's set of calls and puts.
Okay, great. Another question. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay, here's one from Jim L. can you trade in minutes, like open a position and close a couple minutes later, I guess, on an option? Or is this more of like a full half day move? Like, are you stuck in it? Or can you immediately get out of it if you don't like it?
Nope. So my typical trade time is, anywhere from, I would say, 1 minute to, 7 minutes or so. So yeah, you can absolutely get in and get out, trading this way. One thing I didn't mention before, but that I'll mention now is that I actually have, the same way folks are using hotkeys. Folks like Thor and Brian are using hotkeys to get into stocks, and in a lot of cases, having their stop automatically entered when they get into the trade. I do that with options as well. So, when I hit my hotkey to enter a trade, it automatically puts my stop loss in at a predefined level that I've set. And that is absolutely critical for good trading. It's just having a stop loss and respecting your stop loss. The quickest way to start losing too much money as a trader is when you're trading without a stop, and when you're and if you're in a trade taking your stop off. Take it from me, I've had a few years of learning the hard way on some of that stuff. So
Great. I'm going to take one more question from the BBT chat room, then we'll go to YouTube, because I think this is a
sure.
good question. So for somebody who's new, if they haven't yet traded stocks live yet, would you recommend doing options, or should they spend some time in trading stocks before they move to options?
That's a great question, and really it comes down to the account size that they have. Maybe I could pose a question to the questioner. Is their account, would they consider it a smaller account, or are they over the PDT rule in terms of size? I don't need a specific dollar amount or anything.
Small account from Canada.
Small account from Canada. Okay, so yeah, I actually am not super familiar with the rules in Canada. I know that the PDT rule is a U.S. rule. It definitely applies to me, based here in New York. But I don't want to tread into territory where I'm a bit unfamiliar. The reason I like options is because you can utilize really a small amount of capital and still pull significant profits out. So it really would be up to them here in the US. If I with a small account, if I tried to, let's say, buy 100 shares of Nvidia, without any margin, it's impossible. So I actually wouldn't be able to trade stocks here with a small account where I was trading it as a cash account and not utilizing margin. So that's really what pushed me over to options. I still read Andrew's book and looked at all of the videos in the education center. So I'm still actually trading the underlying stock. I'm looking for breakouts and stocks in the stock price. I'm looking, all of that. I'm just trading it via options instead of the stock. So I think if you're not limited by the PDT rule and, you're able to, buy stocks and have a margin account, but not be limited in Canada. And again, I don't know the rules there. Then you could trade stocks, but I was sort of forced to go the options down the road of options here in the US. Hope that helps.
Great. We'll take a few questions in YouTube and then we'll wrap this up.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks guys.
Here's one. For options, where's your stop loss? Is it like 5%, 10%? Do you base it on a percentage?
Yeah. So I've played around with that over the years, and I don't do it so much on percentage. I actually run a really tight stop loss. I do it, so my general the general cost of the option that I'm taking is anywhere between $1.50 and $3. You know, I've found that that's sort of my sweet spot. And when I enter, you know, I'm at this point, I'm generally taking 4 contracts. Yeah, I like the way that allows me to partial, even though these days I'm doing just an all out at 4-to-1, kind of based on Thor's knowledge and his book. You know, he sold me on the 4-to-1. But so my stop loss is at a 15 cent or $15 really in the option world move. So if I'm buying a $2 option, my stop is in, my stop will trigger if the price of that option goes below $1.85. That is very tight. However, when I'm using Camarilla pivot points, which kind of give you a roadmap and they give you the ability to target really tight entries, I do find that works quite well. Hopefully
Great.
that.
Yeah, I think we'll have to wrap this up soon. So before we wrap it up, people are asking what your X handle is. So if you can share that. But also, if you have any
Yeah.
videos or upcoming webinars, please share that information.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys. This was awesome, and thank you, Brent, for having me on. You can follow me on X at it's at my name, so it's at Phil Muka. My page's name is Phil Trades, but it's at Phil Muka, and my last name, it's kind of weird. It's spelled Muka. So that's where folks can follow me, and I'm about to start another small account challenge here, so you can follow along and see how I do. But really, I post a lot, because I want to empower folks who are getting into trading who don't have a lot of starting capital. I want to first and foremost empower them to figure out a strategy, get a playbook going, really learn the basics of good trading, because you always need to know that, know whether you're trading stocks or options, you have to, utilize risk management, proper sizing. You just have to learn how to be a responsible trader first. But I like showing that people, once you get, past those basics, that with just a small account, you can actually make quite a bit. I did do a webinar about 7 or 8 months ago now. I believe it is available on Trading Terminal. I can attempt to find, if someone wants the link to that, just shoot me a private message in the Variable Traders chat room. So you can look for that there. It was called, let me give you the exact title. It was called Utilizing Options, Pivot Points, and Tight Risk Management for Small Account Trading Success. So give a look there. And, I am also, slowly putting together options trading course for, small account folks. So, keep a lookout on that, I'm chipping away at it very slowly. That will be up on Trading Terminal at a certain point down the line. I'll probably end up giving another webinar before that launches. So yeah, and for all the BBT folks who are going to Columbia, I just want to mention that I'll also be there, and I really look forward to meeting all the mods and and some longtime members for the first time down there. It's going to be awesome.
Great. Okay. Everybody have a great weekend. Phil, have a good weekend.
All right. Yep. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, guys.